What's up, guys? This is Brandon from DadRod Garage here. If you hear my kids in the background, you'll get it because this is DadRod Garage. But on this video, I just wanted to go over what's currently my personal best in my car with the data log on Holly. Show you how I do a couple things, why I do it, and hopefully you learn something. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll probably end up making more of these in-depth videos going over suspension, tuning, how-tos for Holly. I'm technical, I guess, so I enjoy these types of videos, so I'm gonna make some and hopefully you can learn something. So why don't we go over the actual data log here. Well, first we can watch we can actually watch the actual video of the pass. So my personal best right now is a 1.2160 foot with a 5.39 eighth mile pass at 129. It's a stock bottom end 5.3 with a 85 102 VS Racing turbo. If you're curious on the setup past that, go ahead and watch the introduction to Bounty Hunter. That's my car's name. So anyways, here's the pass. So that's the pass, and here's the data log. Now, in the video, you can hear, it's easier to see it on this RPM gauge, what's going on. You can see the RPMs drop, come back, drop, come back. I have a Holly Terminator, so technically you're not supposed to be able to do this, but there's a couple Terminator X groups, and between some digging and figuring it out, I figured it out. So I'm just gonna, rather than try and be secretive about it, I don't know why, but people on the groups are kind of secretive about it. I'm just gonna show you because it's not that hard to do. It makes a lot of sense, and it's a little workaround, you know, because we have a Terminator ECU, not an HP or a Dominator, but it also didn't cost us $3 grand. So I'll show you that in a second. Basically, you can do an RPM offset based on whatever. So mine is based on boost. So I can go to 4,500 RPM, build them on a boost I want to build, and then lower my launch boost. In this case was 4,000. It was too low. It wasn't holding the boost. That's why it was, you know, fluctuating up and down, trying to maintain that target boost. So here's the data log. You can see here, this red line right here is my trans brake button. Hit my trans brake button. These colors are a little different than my tuning laptop here. TPS, let's turn TPS on. TPS, okay, here's TPS. So you can say I go full throttle here, is at 2.5 seconds. I don't hit my target boost until 6.5 seconds essentially. So it takes about 4 seconds to get up on the brake. Not the slowest thing in the world, not the fastest either. I've got quite a few timing tables, offsets, and fueling offsets, blah, 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 to try and get it to spool a little faster. I did find a V-band was loose, so that may have something to do with it. And the converter is definitely a touch on the tight side, but I do plan on making more power in the future. I'm going to start rambling about the setup because I'm into this technical stuff. I build my target boost of 11 pounds, I believe it was on this pass, at about 44. I think it's clipping, yeah, 4,500 RPM. It hits 11 pounds. It pulls the RPMs down to 4,000. So now it's on the 4,000, and my boost drops below. I think I had it set at 10.6 or 10.7. We'll go look at it here in a moment. Drops below, and look, the RPMs come back up. And the RPMs come back up because I fell under that threshold. So I either needed to pull more timing here so it could maintain that boost number, or I needed to leave my RPM launch a touch higher. And if I remember correctly, I meant to set it at 4,200, but I forgot. There's a lot to when you're trying to change things at the drag strip. If you've been there, you know. So this was left over from the no prep I was running the night before. Was the 4,000 RPM launch boost. So we get here, I'm like, oh shoot, you know, the RPM's fluctuating. So I wait, it hits 4,500. As soon as it drops to my launch boost of 4,000, I knew that at that moment was the only time it was going to be at the launch boost I wanted it to be at. So as soon as it came off that higher RPM, I let go of the button. It left at 4,000 RPM, 11.5 pounds of boost with 10 degrees of timing. As soon as I let go of the trans brake, I jam 90% of the timing back in it to get it up on the converter and help multiply torque and essentially raising the converter stall speed rather than if I were just to maintain that 10 degrees of timing that was in it on the brake. So I jammed the timing back in it up to 23. You can see I'm RPMing. Converter really doesn't grab too much. It starts to grab in here a little bit, and then it really doesn't grab till about right here. I should change this time. Let me change my 0 time. Okay, so now my 0 time is when I let go of the trans brake. So I'm a second in, and I'm finally all the way on top of the converter. Timing's coming out of it. So now we're a second in. I'm at 28 pounds of boost, 6,600 RPM. Now the converter's coupling here. RPM starts coming up. I do not shift in time. With this camshaft that's in the car right now, I need to be shifting it around 74. Once this converter coupled in a stock ratio 400, I was like, holy crap, I'm already shifting. And then it was too late, and it kind of just started to tap the rev limiter right here. Shift my 1-2. Drops to 6,700-ish RPM. I'm hoping as I put some more power into it, it's going to come up another couple hundred, probably hopefully 200-300 RPM, especially with the larger camshaft I'm going to be putting in it. Comes up to 74. Shift again. And if I remember correctly, 8th mile should be right around, yeah, probably right around here. I do have to shift into 3rd right before I go through the traps of the 8th mile. So you can see I go out the back door at 6,700-ish RPM, 33 pounds of boost, and 50 pounds on the dome. And that's pretty much it. Suspension, I think my rear suspension was full tight. My front suspension was full tight. I had limiter cables on it set. Here we can look at this here. I had limiters set at like 1/2 inch of travel, as tight as they'd go. Might ended up closer to 1 inch, but that was as tight as I could get the cables with it sitting on the car, with them welded on the car the way they are. So you can see the tire wrinkle here. Honestly, I think I needed a pound or 2 more tire pressure in this going back now. It could have probably 60-footed a little better. You can see it wrinkles, and then it kind of pops back up right here. And so I think I was being too hard on the tire there. If this is the fastest car, fastest eighth mile, quarter mile, blah, 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 pass, 60 foot I've ever had in my life. And it blows my mind how far it carried the front end once it came up. Like, that's a 60-foot cone. And the front left tire is still off the ground. It finally touches down right there. So yeah, okay. Well, let me show you. Oh yeah, I also forgot to load the tune-up for this last pass. It was supposed to have something else in it. No, this was my second pass. My third pass I spun, but I did forget to load the new tune-up in it. So that was like a 549. All right, let's see if I can remember, because it's been about a month since I've been in this software here. What was I going to show you? Yeah, I was going to show you my offset. So in 2D tables, you can do a dwell time offset, is what it's called. You can do an x-axis as RPM, y-axis as boost PSI, and this is your two-step offset. So what you do is when the trans brake is enabled, you have an enable and, well, you have a disable advanced option. So when boost is above 11.5 PSI, it deactivates, and it will reactivate if it drops below 11 PSI. And then you build this 2D table for boost and for RPM. Boost obviously doesn't really matter because you're controlling when it's stepping down with this here. So if I wanted it to drop, okay, so this was the pass this was the tune I didn't load because it was supposed to be 4,200 RPM and it ended up being 4,000. But you get the picture. So what you do is when you get above 11.5 pounds of boost, this table will pull all the dwell time, which is like 3.5. So you just yank it all out at whatever RPM. So for this instance, it's 4,200. If your stall converter flashes really high and is crazy loose, then you might need to do this. And now, instead of at 4,200, it pulls all the dwell. Now it'll pull all the dwell at 4,400. And it works just like a two-step RPM offset. The only thing I can see that's different from this way, how you can do it on a Terminator, and the way the normal two-step rev limiter works is if you look here, if you look at this red graph here, you can see the ups and downs of the actual RPM rev limiter, which is 4,500. When it steps down, you can see these are a lot sharper and about double the size. So if this is a variance of 50 RPM, this is a variance of, what is that? 450 to 3,900, 150. So if this is walking around, here, let's see, 4467, 4397. So if this is walking around 70 to 100 RPM, these over here, when it's offset, it's running around 150 RPM. So for whatever reason, that is the only downside, I guess, I can see to using this, is that maybe it'll be a little less consistent. But at the same time, you're flashing the converter to 6,000 RPM when you let go of the button anyways. So I don't know if that 50 RPM variance more than your normal 70 to 100 RPM variance is going to mean much, but that's for you to decide. Back to software here, see my rev limiter is set for spark high only at 4,500. It'll sit on that until this table activates. Once this table activates, it'll pull it down to whatever we want it at, etc. So yeah, this is how you do it. Pretty basic, not very hard to do. You just got to set it up right. Once you're set up, it's pretty set up. Obviously, you got to come in here, and depending on how much launch boost you want, you have to change this. If you're changing your launch boost. If you like more videos like this, I got a couple other tricks for maintaining and building boost on the brake that I will make a video of. So make sure you like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, go ahead and check out our website, dadrodgarage.com. Pick yourself up some sweet t-shirts. We got a couple favorites that we're really excited to release. They just released, and hope you guys like them. Thanks, guys.